So let's talk about spirit guides. Hi, I'm Elizabeth Eleanor, and I am an intuitive empath. And this is 365 days of spiritually awakening. I was challenged to come on here and do 365 days continuously on YouTube. And day 23 is what we're up to. So if you've been enjoying this program or this process with me, then welcome back. Thank you so much for watching. If this is your first one, please hit subscribe and the bell for notifications when we add and upload any more videos. What I've been doing is sharing some of the magical experiences that I've had, my beliefs, emotions, all the things that go with being awakened for 27 years, from all the exciting things that happened to me at the start to how the extraordinary becomes the ordinary. And it's really beautiful when you first wake up and you've got all of these wonderful things happening, and then it just becomes a normal part of everyday life. So let's talk about spirit guides. Personally, so I'm going to, share something that might not be very popular, but personally, I'm not a big person to follow the guidance or really connecting with spirit guides. When I first woke up spiritually and I was doing the past life regression, I was working with energies like Archangel Michael, with Jesus, Mary Magdalene, but I really wasn't connecting in with, energies that were my guides, for example. And so, hear me out. It's a very interesting thing because spiritual development I've watched it change over time, and the consciousness that's developed as we've all evolved from third dimension, where we're in duality, to fourth and fifth dimension and into sixth dimension. And I will do another video on all of those different dimensions. But at the moment, I notice where we used to be was a lot of people would rely on an external source to validate their feelings, their emotions, and the things that they wanted to experience, right? So they would give their power away to an entity that they were saying, oh, this is my, spirit guide, and he's a, Native American Indian called Fred, right? Like, and I always felt very, what's the word for it? I always felt inadequate because I didn't have a Fred, right? I just didn't have someone that I knew was there with me on a regular basis. I believe that we are here to be source energy, to create more light in our body, to actually access our creator energy, the source that we came from, which I call the higher self or superconscious. When you're tuning into guides, just like here on the planet, when we first get born, we are reliant on things outside of ourselves. We need our parents to feed us and clothe us and love us and, nourish us and all of those things and protect us. And as soon as you go into this spiritual realm, I watch people move from that, external validation and support to a spiritual external validation and support. And so I've never been into spirit guides myself because I've always wanted to take ownership of my own processes, my own experiences, my own successes, my own mistakes, all of the things. I've wanted to take ownership of it myself. Now, I have had help and I have asked for guidance, and that was mainly when I was finding myself wanting to fit in more than it happening. And I suppose it sort of happened, the Archangel Michael, for example, definitely helped me And here's something really controversial, is that as we grow, those entities, those energies grow and experience themselves as more whole too. Because when the one energy split and shattered and created aspects, those aspects are aspects of aspects of aspects, and we are tiny little particles of a bigger whole, and like the triangle, the pyramid, right? And so I know that I am from the Blu-ray. I connect way more with Archangel Michael than I do with Archangel Samuel or Gabrielle or all of the other archangels. I've never really had anything to do with those energies, because Archangel Michael came to me when I was going through my journey. So I didn't seek Archangel Michael out. I didn't make it up. It was something that came through, and I questioned it, and I made sure that it was valid, and I made sure that it was true for me. And then when I had the experience of understanding that this is what was real for me, that's when I worked with that energy that is Archangel Michael. But I didn't lean on him for support. I didn't then lean on him, asking him to make my decisions for me, or asking him to give me advice or any of those things. I'm here as a sovereign being learning about myself. And the same with spirit guides. I've never given my power away to a guide. And I do remember once when I was, I was doing the past life regression. If you haven't heard that story, go back and check out some of the other videos. I did 7 years of intense past life regression training. I became a facilitator, all the things. And I remember there was a woman that, I'll have to tell that story how we met. It was very funny. I'll do that another time. But I met this woman, and she was came and stayed with me and my kids for a little while, actually about 6 months, right? And she sort of didn't believe it, but she was playing around and being part of the process. And we did some regressions together. And there was a spiritual festival on or something like that she went to, and I was working, and I'd finished my massage. I was a massage therapist. And she came home and she said, the festival's still on, and there's this woman there that's doing drawings of your spirit guide, and I want to gift you one, right? Unbeknown to me, she was checking to see who I was. She had had a guide be drawn for her, right? Whoever that guide's name was. It was just a normal spirit guide called Fred, whatever. And anyway, so I go to this woman, and she starts doing the picture, and she's doing this thing, and she's talking to me at the same time. And she says, I can't remember exactly how she started it, but she started saying, she said, oh, there's two people trying to come through. One of them is Master Katumi, and the other one is Kuan Yin. And I didn't know either of them, right? I'm not into reading all the books and doing all the things. And so I went, oh, yeah, whatever. In my opinion, it was like, oh, yeah, whatever. Anyway, she said, actually, there's a whole heap. And she just looked up from her painting, and she goes, did you know you've got a whole heap of masters hanging around you? And it was one of those moments with Claire, where she got this validation that there is something that's going on here, and maybe the past life stuff was real. Because what was happening for me in that moment for the last couple of weeks or more in the regressions was I was learning more about the masculine, and I wanted to learn about spiritual wisdom and the spiritual intelligence, I'd made the intention, I'd set that intention. So anyway, Master Katumi was able to come through, and he was the one that she did the picture of. It wasn't a painting, it was actually a crayon thing, dry crayon, I don't know what they call them, pastel. And when I got home, I looked up Master Katumi, and Master Katumi is the master of knowledge and wisdom. And I went, oh, that makes a lot of sense, right? So it's not like I deny these energies are around. It's just that when you start relying externally, you're giving your power away to another force, whether they're physical or whether they're spiritual. And a lot of people have been conditioned to give their power away, to let someone else control their life. And so if you're giving your power away to guides, to masters, to archangels, to whoever it is, be aware that those aspects are only an aspect of the whole. So when you're getting information from these, they've got certain information that they know, but they don't know the whole. So why not go directly to the source, to the energy of the creator that you are tapped in, tuned in with, right? And get all information. So when you're connecting directly with your own light, a couple of things are happening. One of them is that your soul path is your soul path, and you're going to learn the things that your soul needs to correct specifically. And two, you're going to be guided directly from your own higher self rather than the agenda of something external to yourself, whether that be physical or whether that be etheric. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. So I know that this may not have been what you wanted to hear. If you're interested in guides or you've got your own guide, you may have, been a little bit, offended by what I've got to say. But it's time for us, as we move into fifth dimension and recognize ourselves as in the unity consciousness, that the information that we're getting is information, and maybe it's coming from our guides, but wherever it's coming from, the information that you're getting is pure when you're not giving it away because it's coming from an external source. I hope that makes sense, because when I get information come through, that information may be from a guide, right? It may be from an archangel, but it's because that information was relevant to this connection that I am choosing to experience for myself through my own divine lineage to the creator, right? Higher self, whatever you want to call it. As soon as you define that this guide, this archangel, whatever, as soon as you define it as separate, you're now giving your power away externally, and you're making that more valid than your own goals, your own dreams, your own journey. So take care. I hope that you enjoyed that. I'd love to hear what you've got to say in the comments, and what your experience is with spirit guides. Love to hear all of the things. Looking forward to seeing you on tomorrow, day 23. Or is days 23? I can't remember if we're on to day 24 tomorrow. And I will catch you. All my stuff is downstairs. If you look down here, there's the website and all of those things. So jump in, grab yourself a chat if you need to have a talk about any of your spiritual experiences or anything that's going on. What I do specifically is I work with women to support them to attract their divine partner without the social dating rejection and all the horrible dating things that we go through, by lining up with the laws of the universe and teaching alchemy. So if that's something that you're interested in, just grab some of the links downstairs and we will be able to have a chat. Take care, and I'll see you next time.